I am here on the corner of William and Front Streets on De Pere's east side. Today, we're going to learn all about the City of De Pere streets. Welcome to our first episode of the Mayor's Corner. I'm Mayor James Boyd. In each episode of the Mayor's Corner, we plan to take you to explore a different part of the City of De Pere as we discuss the latest happenings in our city. Plus, we'll take a behind-the-scenes look at various areas of city government. Most of all, we want to show you all there is to celebrate about the City of De Pere. We're here on the corner of William and Front Streets, right across from the Fox River Trail and Voyager Park. These area streets see a lot of traffic as people flock to downtown and Voyager Park to enjoy events, to see the waterways, and hop on the trail. Today we're chatting with Tony Fietzer. Tony is the Street Superintendent for City of De Pere Public Works. Tony oversees a staff of about 12 people who work hard to maintain every aspect of the streets in De Pere. Thanks for joining us today, Tony.
Thank you, Mayor.
First, Tony, could you give us a bit of a background in your role? How did you get into working in public works? How did you get into your role in the street division for De Pere?
Sure. My role involves overseeing all aspects of the street department. We have a staff of 12 employees. They are responsible for garbage and recycling collection, street sweeping, snow plowing, salting and snow removal, weed cutting, sign fabrication and installation, line striping and painting, leaf and brush collection, rubbish collection, and minor road and sewer repairs, as well as sewer cleaning, sewer televising, and the all other duties as assigned. Our street team is dedicated to serving our residents and our visitors, and if we take any one of those things out of the service we provide, it will directly affect the residents' quality of life. We've become very accustomed to the services that we get here in De Pere, and removing a garbage collection or sewer cleaning would really negatively impact our community.
So how big is the street division and what kind of work does each area do?
Sure. Our staff is 12 employees. We have a lead person, 6 equipment operators, and 5 maintenance workers. Our lead person has been with the city and our street department for roughly 26 years and is just a wealth of institutional knowledge. Our 6 equipment operators are the ones that operate primarily our street sweepers, snowplow operating, sewer televising, sign shop fabrication and installation, specialty equipment like our backhoe and our grader as needed. Our maintenance workers primarily are assigned to our garbage and recycling, as well as assisting the other staff members as needed. Did you know in 2020 we collected over 378,000 garbage carts and 181,000 recycling carts in the city of De Pere?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that at all.
Power of numbers.
How do you as a street supervisor work with other areas of De Pere Public Works? What kind of collaboration has to happen to keep our streets in shape?
Sure. Our engineering department within our public works department do a fantastic job when it comes to the integrity of our roadways. While they do most of the planning and the preventative maintenance work, we rely on each other to serve our community. During the planning phases of any road construction project, they rely on our sewer televising crews to inspect the integrity of our sewers underground. This allows them to help with budgeting planning for the following year to determine whether or not sewers need to be replaced during the project, or if the integrity is in good shape, that they can just continue with the road resurfacing. So we work together to be able to best serve the community.
Awesome. How does the street division collaborate with other communities to benefit the taxpayers in De Pere?
Sure. We currently operate a yard waste drop-off facility on Rockland Road with the town of Ledgeview. We share the cost depending on population, so both residents from both communities get to utilize it in one location while both communities help pay for that. In addition to that, De Pere has signed an agreement with other communities within Brown County that allow for some equipment sharing. We recently, the last couple years, have borrowed rear-loading garbage trucks during our rubbish collection week from the city of Green Bay. And what that has done is helped us be able to put more garbage and rubbish on the trucks prior to having to go dump than we've had before. We're much more efficient than we have been in the past that way. Just like we would loan out items when other neighboring communities need something if we're not using it. Oftentimes a lot of this equipment is expensive. It doesn't need to be used frequently. So to be able to share it amongst communities allows us to help each other out.
Great, that's a great collaboration we have with other communities. Next, what does the street department workload look like in summer versus winter, spring and fall? What does the street team do in various seasons to keep city streets safe and in good working condition?
Yeah. Well, many employers' job responsibilities are the same all year round, and for us it's very seasonal. In the spring, our street sweepers start to get out, our weed cutting starts to pick up a little bit, we do some leaf and yard waste collection during the spring months. As we turn into the summer, a lot of our sewer jetting and televising takes place. In the winter we have a hard time doing some televising as the sewers have different temperatures than the air temperatures, and our cameras would get fogged up and things like that. So that has to ramp up and take place in the warmer temperatures. Our fall, we're back into our leaf collection, and then we get into winter where it's plowing. So we really are seasonal depending on Mother Nature on what we're able to do. We collect garbage and recycling though year round.
Yeah, it sounds like there's always something going on. There's always something to
Yes.
do. How does the street team prioritize projects or adjust workload? How are priorities established?
Well, we prioritize based upon public safety. Every day we go into our daily assignments with a plan. That plan may modify based upon Mother Nature, but we try to set something in place to work off of. We have had winters where we would plan something, but the storm kind of came in, or we had some temperatures had gotten down and the roads ice up. We have to pull off and address those. So we don't always get to stick to the same plan, but we try to go into something with public safety in mind, and then we go off of that.
De Pere is a landlocked community, but that doesn't mean new developments aren't still happening. How does the street department get involved when the community grows, be it neighborhoods or business parks?
Sure. While we're landlocked, in the last several years, we did add several new residential subdivisions. There's the Garrity Glen, Pine Trails, Bridgeport Circle, Honeysuckle, and those couple subdivisions added another 200 residential parcels, give or take. With that, those are all added to our garbage and recycling routes. Those streets have to be plowed, line striped, new signs had to be installed in that area for parking or speed limit, street sweeping, and all those sewers undergrounds that have to be televised and cleaned and things. So while we're not growing square mile area per se, we're taking advantages of the vacant lots in the city, developing them, and that all is something that's being added on to our workload here of trying to maintain.
Are there any big street projects coming up?
We are expecting the delivery of a new tractor. We are replacing an old Volvo loader that we had that really only got used a few times in the winter.
Sure.
This new tractor will be more versatile, where we'll be able to use it in the summer and in the winter. It will have a 25-foot boom mower attached. We'll be able to cut ditches safely, and as well as cleaning up our stormwater ponds that are around throughout the city. In addition to that, that tractor will be utilized for snow plowing in the winter. One of the important things with our stormwater ponds that we must take care of is trying to control a lot of the vegetation growth. It brings in habitat, animal habitat, that can directly dam up our inflow and outflow. And a lot of the growth that is in there, we're trying to prevent the leaves that are growing on that. When those fall into the stormwater pond, it creates a phosphorus, and it can directly impact the quality of our stormwater. So we're really trying to utilize this new piece of equipment to try and gain back our stormwater ponds and to be more proactive in the approach.
Very good. There are a lot of clear and visible jobs of the street division, like garbage, recycling pickup. What are some areas of streets that may not be obvious to citizens?
Yeah, garbage and recycling is very visible, and you'll notice very quickly if
Sure.
your garbage hasn't been picked up. But our sewer jet and sewer televising and recording is very important. Our sewer televising is, they set up and they will videotape all of our underground sewers, and they utilize that again for our engineering projects. The sewer jetting is, we want to make sure that our sewers are clean to allow for the flow of the sewage to get to the metropolitan sewer district to be treated. If we don't maintain that, we can directly impact residential homes of filling back up with sewage based upon blockages. So that preventative maintenance that we're doing, while it's not glorified, it is something that's very important to the quality of life of our residents here. In 2020, we had cleaned 32.5 miles of underground sewers, and we televised over 8.5 miles. And all that televising is stored on our computer servers that anybody needing it from our engineering division can take a look, check the integrity, look for any imperfections, or if there is any directional boring that has gone through. So very important tasks that we're doing that maybe aren't quite seen the same.
Great, yeah. I mean, you mentioned quality of life over and over again, and that's very important to you,
yes.
and to the residents, and to the city itself. So
correct.
We commend you on all
Thank
that.
you.
There are so many areas of the street division, but we wanted to learn exactly how the City of De Pere creates its street signs. With the addition of a new large-scale printer and design software in 2020, the street team is able to create all city street signs on site. We caught up with Carrie in our street division to see the story of a street sign. Let's take a look.
Well, we start out with design software. We pick the sign size and the layout. That includes rounding the corners because all of our street signs have rounded corners. We have so many fonts to choose from, but we mainly just use the one because it's the highway standard font size. We also have specific colors for certain signs. We have the green street name signs, and then we have the brown for the National Historic District. And we recently started adding the city logo to all of our street signs, not just the historic ones. The software is pretty new. It's updated from the old software we used to have. We got it all last year with our printer in 2020. We can design multiple signs and we can print them all at the same time. We print onto the reflective paper and then we add the lamination afterwards. The lamination is anti-graffiti and anti-UV, so the signs are meant to last a long time. They're actually guaranteed for 15 years, which means we don't have to make signs as often, and we can focus on other areas of the street department. Sign Shop also does all of the street line painting, crosswalks, stopper bars. We do center lines with the city of Green Bay because they have the bigger painter, and changing out all of the other signs in the city. Once the signs are designed, we send them to print on our traffic jet printer. We start by installing the reflective paper, which is a high-intensity prismatic. It's like giant sticker paper. It comes on big, heavy rolls. We'll set it up on the printer on the screen and feed the paper through before we get going. Once the signs are printed, they need to rest for 4 hours. We typically print on one day and wait to laminate until the next. When we laminate too soon, it ends up getting little bubbles underneath the paper because there's still gases escaping from the ink. I turn the lamination machine on and it heats up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I drop the rollers and we start to attach the paper to the last little piece of paper that was in the roller. So I push the paper so the laminate runs through. Then on the back side, I attach it to the other roller so it self-winds up as it's unrolling from the front side. And then once we remove the roll, we bring it upstairs to finish the production of the sign. We start off by cleaning the blanks with a special solution to help get dust and debris off that might be on there, and oils, so that the paper sticks better. Once those are clean and ready for application, we unroll our paper on our work table. From there, we use the blade to trim the printed signs down to size. Once laminated signs are trimmed, we are ready to apply them to the blanks and secure them with our roller press. Once the two pieces match up, we trim off the back half and roll it to secure it. Then we do the same to the other side until the whole piece is attached. And then from there, we trim any excess down to match the metal blanks. If the sign is double-sided, like these street signs are, we do it again with the other side. First, we mount the signs to the brackets in the sign shop. We measure out to make sure that everything is centered. We mount them in place, and then depending on where the signs go, the brackets may need to be painted black, because downtown is typically a lot of black. We want it to look nice. We already painted the brackets for this one, so they're ready to mount. Once the signs are mounted to the brackets, we can bring them out to their location and install them.
Wow, Tony, that is really cool to see. I did not know, and I'm sure a lot of residents did not know, that we all do this in-house and have such technology used in making these street signs. Thank you to Tony and Carrie for working on our Mayor's Corner street signs and for showing us how one aspect of our street division makes such a big impact on our city. Thank you, Tony, for being here with me today.
Thank you, Mayor.
And now to a few city updates. You may have noticed fences up around the empty lots on Broadway and Wisconsin and Lewis Streets. We are very proud to have helped break ground on the Mulva Cultural Center in August. Jim and Miriam Mulva are once again leaving their mark on the City of De Pere in a big way. The architecture and construction of the Mulva Cultural Center are being taken on by world-class organizations. Architecture firm SOM has worked on projects including One World Trade Center in New York City and Willis Tower in Chicago. The construction will be managed by Mortensen, the same company that worked on the Fiserv Forum. The Mulva Cultural Center seeks to offer traveling exhibits, arts, and culture in a gorgeous facility in historic downtown De Pere. This center will not only serve the De Pere community, but the greater Green Bay and Brown County as a whole. The center is set to open in 2023, and we at the City of De Pere couldn't be more excited. That's it for this episode of the Mayor's Corner. We'll see you again soon with another behind-the-scenes look at the City of De Pere and what it has to offer. I'm Mayor James Boyd.